Hello everybody, my name is Electromagnetic Pigeon and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about what is the best place to put your camp in Fallout 76. Now as you can see here, I'm on the mini-map, well rather the map of Fallout 76, and there's a big area of where you can put your camp. Now I'm sure there's a couple places where you can't, and obviously it depends on where you are, but there is certainly, if you might look at like where people place their camps, it's all over the place, but usually it's near towns. And why is that? Because your camp is not just like where you keep your things, but it's a free fast travel hotspot. See, I put my camp right by the White Spring Resort, as well as a railroad track that runs by with a rail stop. And the reason I do this is because I can free fast travel there. It's in the middle of the map, so when I'm there, it costs usually a good bit less to fast travel to places because I'm basically in the middle of the map. And I also have a decent amount of space to build because it's kind of flat. Well, it's flatter than most areas in Appalachia. So it's pretty nice, and there's usually a couple other camps around here so you can trade with other people. And you can also set up your vendor machine so that people can trade with you. Now, one of the things that you might want to consider when you're building your camp is how much space do I need? Because different places, like if you don't need a ton of space, then you might not need to go with this. You might be able to just go a little closer to White Spring. And I'd say White Spring is ideal because there's a good few places that you can run by and get easy levels by just killing the things in there. Um, it's a lot harder now that they make it scale to your level, although lower levels will have an easier time. As well as this, you're right near a vendor so that you can trade with them to sell some of your items that you bring back to camp. And you can buy things like bulk scraps and maybe a little bit of plans and some ammo and some food. It's not usually a lot of ammo or food, but it's okay. You also have a medical supplies vending machine, ammunition vending machines, as well as some pretty useful things like the Legendary Exchange, which I have an entire video on, which you might want to watch if you're interested in exchanging legendary guns. And you also have a couple containers with just some stuff that respawn occasionally that you can loot if you're a lower level and you need some stuff to sell. Up the mountain, you also have a couple other locations. You have the Middle Mountain Cabins, the Blackwater Mine. The Blackwater Mine specifically is really good because there are events there as well as a lot of mole people that you can kill for some good XP. Overall, it's a pretty nice place to be, and you don't usually get too many things attacking your base because you're so close to a town. I used to live up by where you do the missile silos uh, later in the game when you're launching nukes, and that always got attacked by massive bears, and I didn't like that, so I moved down here and I found it's very nice to be down closer to town, so I would recommend that. If you're not quite high enough level to be able to take advantage of some of the things around here, like White Spring, you could also consider going closer to spawn with the Wayward and Overseer's Camp if you're working on that. There's certainly a couple things you can do there. As well as there are a couple other places where it might be useful, like if you're doing a bunch of quest lines down in the bottom left for the abandoned mine sites and stuff, as well as if you do a lot of legendary exchanging, being near the Rusty Pick might be a good bonus. Overall, though, I'd say that going near towns is very nice to have. I would not recommend doing the bottom right because this is where a high percentage of the nukes are launched, so maybe stay away from that. But otherwise, there's a good few locations on most of the parts. However, I would probably strongly recommend you do White Springs because there's the most stuff to do here in the town. There's a plethora of workbenches and shops that you can get things from, as well as there's a lot of like easy XP farms around here. So I'd highly recommend White Springs as the number one choice. But if you're not someone who cares enough about that to really have it merit doing that, you could just probably stick to some other towns that might be more suited to what you'd like to get out of it. But yeah, thank you for watching, and if you did enjoy, please subscribe. That would help me out a ton.